Yes, for TNC.
Oh, they go Fred, alright?
Oh, okay.
They didn't flex the X-Borg towards the jungle role. They showed the jungle. So now, the last pick is going to be Roam. I think it should be Minotaur against this lineup of Blacklist. So they would be prepared for this. Claude is open for Ohib to take. Either the Claude or the classic Bruno answer against a carry.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe just go with the Bruno, right, for the most part. And if they, one of the great things is they have the Rafaela, right? And typically, we talked about this yesterday over here on how much the Brave Smite is picked up, right, in terms of that Fighter Emblem, man.
Yep.
It is on point. So you throw in the Rafaela in the mix that provides that movement, provides that sustainability. You know, Bruno's fine. You can move around and your auto attacks will hurt enough, especially locking in those first two items, right?
And the Gourd maybe for UA?
There you
go.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Claude Guard.
I don't, you know.
Thank you, draft assist.
I have this theory now that whenever Naisu's casting, there's a high chance of
There's a
Cord.
high chance. And it's funny because this, I was just looking over here on the side. Rockhart mentioned this earlier on.
Oh.
Shout out to Rockhart because he's like, every single time I'm on the desk.
Every single time. Even yesterday, there was a Gourd.
That's what I'm talking about.
The assistant did recommend the Gourd pick for Blacklist, but it also recommends Minotaur for TNC. So I think they should get Minotaur.
I think you might have to add a little code into that assistant here, Midnight, that if Nice is on the desk.
Oh yeah.
the percentage goes up a little
They
bit.
recommended the Gourd, but on the second recommendation. Now I gotta tell it, yo, Nice is on the desk. Oh, okay.
Okay, let's have Gourd for
Let's
this
have Gourd.
or for this game. Either of the teams will get it. So yeah, Minotaur.
The assistant says, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So,
Ruby.
So how is it gonna happen? Is it an XP lane X-Borg and then Ruby as pos 5?
I think Ruby pos 5. It works good against Claude, the Rafaela, and also the Gourd. Because the thing is, these heroes they want to close the gap, but they don't want to be interrupted. Like if you want to play CC and there's a taunt or a mini stun on the other side, that is duration from your first skill being taken away. You don't want that. That's also especially true with Gourd, the Claude, because you hate being interrupted during your skills.
Well, you guys saw the audience prediction, heavily in favor of Blacklist International. And I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, too. You guys are watching online here. Let us know which lineup you're feeling more. Is it Blacklist Internationals or is it TNC to take on this game number 1? And while you're at it, don't forget to go ahead and follow, subscribe to the channels, the pages that you're watching at, because we're getting ready to kick off this first match here for day number 2. And at the same time, lineups, for me, they look pretty even, right? For the most part, it really does depend on how they want to execute the lineup they have. But there's so much CC available for TNC. We'll see if they can make it work. And there's a lot of burst potential, even, and sustainability for Blacklist International.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let's jump into the land of Dawn here. Game number 1, Blacklist International and TNC.
You know what? I'm just excited to see how Kimpoy will play for Blacklist International and Nomad as well. I haven't seen Nomad play as the Golden even prior him joining MPL season 13. So we could see a lot of pokes already for TNC, knowing that they have a lot of damage with this Vexana.
Yeah. Keep in mind, again, Nomad is back to his original role up against Oheb. That is going to be a crucial matchup to look at because it does dictate the pacing of Blacklist International. They are so reliant on this Cloud snowballing towards the late game because if you imagine how TNC fights late game, they have an X-Borg. This X-Borg is going to prevent the box shot from securing a lot of objectives for Blacklist International. So the gameplay overall for Blacklist is to make our early game quite nice, you know, just refine everything that we can refine so that the Claude can snowball towards the late game. But TNC, they have this carry that can match up against the Claude late game, but also you have to worry about the X-Board contesting the Lords against Blacklist International.
Yeah, not only that, but I think a lot of kind of fans of TNC have been waiting also to see Super Yoshi play, right? The fact that he's going to be on this Ruby here, a hero that's traditionally, you're kind of expecting these big setup plays, right? With the Flicker, the I'm Offended combination to work, or it's to peel, right? And that's kind of the big kind of decisions that Super Yoshi's going to have to make here. And it could be the case of it throws things in a kind of chaotic manner when they're approaching these objectives. So just like that, if he can continue that on, but they just get some pokes off. UA is going to hit that level 4. Turtle's now up, though. So they're going to get ready.
it's as if they're just forcing Yue to be out for this team fight, but the players are here already positioned. We have Sensui, Ryzen heads, and this is a 4-man team fight probably for this turtle objective. Edward's
Edward.
there, but
Edward!
Yoshi was ready, but Sensui still will get this turtle objective, plus the Fraser's Wrath. Heads will take that first blood. But still, it was a nice fight for both teams.
Yeah, that was a risky 50-50 coming out from Blacklist International, but TNC did not hold the. They didn't hold the Lord. They let Sensui do his thing, and they focused down on turning against the CC, which allowed them to get a kill on Edward.
Yep.
But Sensui did get his instincts in, and he got the turtle for Blacklist.
Yeah, and on top of that, TNC did a good job at even zoning out Yue at least for that fight.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, they still got the objective, but TNC able to get on the board this early on, and the kill went in the favor of heads here, so that should help him in the lane a little bit. Of course, the way that he kind of approaches the fights here against Edward.
Yep.
But right now, it's pretty much even Stevens across the board, right? Nothing too crazy.
Okay, so for these players, actually, or for these teams, what they're doing is just they're finding their way to extend the jungling and then move forward on the objective. So here's this saying: if you're watching Filipino teams, probably the team fights will be or will happen during the Lord takes, during the turtle takes,
Remember
and that's
yesterday?
what's happening. Yes.
Yeah, no fights, just Lords.
Remember what happened yesterday? We had like 10 minutes in that first matchup.
With the first blood, with the 10 minutes.
I was watching 15 minutes in, 3 kills.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Hey, you know, sometimes you gotta have the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
You can't just have action all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you gotta take it slow.
And also you have to take note, like the clash, the team fights, it either ends in like 5 seconds or it's a 1-minute team fight.
Yeah.
Where people just reset the Lord, poke. All right, let's wait for another 30 seconds. Maybe somebody steps over, walks up, we punish a mistake, and if we didn't kill, reset again.
And when they do that, majority of the resources have been already exhausted.
Yeah.
The flickers, the ultimates. But again, speaking of ultimate, that is a
Yue.
nice Eternal Guard for Hatred at the middle lane.
There's such a big focus from TNC in the mid lane. They're punishing Yue so hard,
Yep.
and that just allows them to get a very good control over this turtle fight. Earlier, we didn't see them take down Yue, but now they don't have the gourd for Blacklist.
Okay, so they're gonna just zone out Blacklist International here. Great momentum from TNC off that mid lane play. And you're kind of expecting that, especially with the fact that you have a Ruby to deal with here.
Yeah.
And so this is the weakness for this gourd pick right now. But
And
can they turn it around
Oh,
here?
he got the purple as well.
Nice.
Ryzen.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice juggle here for TNC. They know the potential of their lineup, knowing with the continuous crowd control by Super Yoshi.
All right, classic jungle trades. You get
Yeah.
purple, I don't retreat, I get your purple. All right, and I get out.
Okay.
Yeah. This is PH, by the way.
Hey, I don't know if he's gonna escape this, is he?
Oh, he
I'm
might get
not
punished.
sure
Oh,
about
it
that.
missed.
But out of middle lane, that is 4 players of TNC.
Good punish.
Imagine you have Heads, Hatred, Ryzen, and even Super Yoshi
Yeah.
trying to stop you from escaping.
I mean, again, those moves are such like textbook, and TNC knows how to punish because like they knew that the Basha didn't retreat. He's gonna go for that purple buff for the jungle trade, but TNC prepped for the Basha when he was invading, even committing the ultimates from the Vixana.
There's another one actually, probably
Oheb.
for TNC. Look at the damage with the Praetor's Wrath. It's just TNC all over the place
Oh.
in this jungle area of Blacklist International.
You kill the jungle, you get mid control, and you transition towards the gold lane to camp against Oheb. This is such good macro gameplay from TNC. Oheb was leading by 500 gold, yeah, but it does allow for TNC to kind of slow down the tempo of Blacklist International because again, they're very Claude reliant. This game is all on Oheb. If they are going to be able to slow down Kimpoy by camping that lane and removing the towers from Blacklist International, essentially the map is going to be choked out. And even if you're like leading by 500 gold, what comes next is if TNT is able to get more towers, that is going to reduce the amount of farm that you are going to be able to get out of the map for Blacklist International.
Yeah, I love the pressure that TNC is continuing to put here on Sensui's resources, right? Sensui's kind of tired of it too.
Yeah,
And
get out.
Keep him at bay, but
Get out of my jungle, bro.
this is what they have to do, right? Put the pressure there. Turtle's now up. 3rd-1 in the game here. We'll see which team actually gets this. Sensui
Yoshi.
does get his buff, though.
There is a nice setup play, but Vengeance has been used by Edward. The sustain is
Oh
not
my
enough though.
goodness.
Ryzen with a kill again. It's just TNC forcing to get a kill prior an objective against Blacklist International.
This is such good macro gameplay from TNC. Oh, flicker forced out from Nomad. Sensui going for the trade, but he's going to be punished.
Is it going to be a kill for TNC? Heads is here with the last Insanity. Keep
boy.
low on life. That is right on spot. Plus a flicker from Heads to escape the threat from Blacklist International. And we have Ryzen as well taking this surge home.
Again, TNC is very good when it comes to the early game. You saw how immediate they turned on the CC right there. They were like, okay, we're going to have to deal with you in the turtle anyway. Let's just throw our spells to kill the CC. And if he dies, Turtle's free. That's for sure. Turtle's going to be free. And TNC, when they saw Sensui going for the jungle trade, they were like, we don't need to be in Turtle. Ryzen has that covered. Let's punish the Baksha.
Well, what has this 1K gold lead done for TNC in terms of items here? I know we just took a glimpse at it, but how's it looking? I mean, we're not used to seeing TNC with this kind of lead so far.
Yeah, it does provide a lot. Like, the X-Borg with the Brute Force, now it's built up. This is going to provide a lot of problems for Blacklist International. Even though they have a Rafaela on Kim Poi, Sensui's not going to have a good time against this X-Borg. He's a Baksha.
Yeah.
He can't walk up on Lords, bump with a hero, and then expect to live. Because TNZ, they're gonna turn. They're gonna choose to opt for the Baksha kill over the Lord.
Okay, look at that. Look at the zone from TNC just to force and take a turret here at the top lane. Blacklist International. It's as if they're playing passively against TNC because there's no answer.
Yeah,
oh, no.
They can't.
They're trying to go for a split push at the bottom lane and give space to Oheb.
Yeah, this is the trade coming out from Oheb. He cannot farm top lane anymore.
Well, I guess that's just what he goes for, right? Like, if you can at least split push, get something across the map, because again, they don't have a kill, right? For Blacklist International, so you have to get space at least to work with.
Yep.
Leading into that first Lord especially, right? This is the time where we're, again, referencing the graphic we saw earlier, Ultra Instinct Sensui.
Oh,
if it's, early game is done, you get to these Lords now, you really have to pull something off.
Oh, Yoshi!
Speaking of pull, that was a nice pull, by the way.
Good Purify use.
Yep.
Yeah. He has no Purify Lord, mind you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. TNC at least gets that out of the equation for now.
Yeah.
You can see them already setting up, right? Already getting in preparation to possibly cut off Blacklist International leading into that Lord.
All right, this is where the gourd matters, actually. They are not able to check the bushes with their heroes, but they have a gourd. He can really just get some vision and some pokes onto TNC. But again, this X-Borg is a huge problem right now for Blacklist International. The pull!
Oh.
Okay, that is a nice setup play. Eternal Guard has been used. Edward is down for Blacklist International, but Sensui will find Heads. No Firaga armor, low on life, but there you go. TNC is just doing a free hit.
The turn
is on the bush. The Lord is still here, so Blacklist International, are they going to force a Lord contest? I think they're not going to make it happen.
Oh my
TNC
goodness.
will secure this Lord.
Okay, Super Yoshi quite low. Oheb gets a kill, though, so they turn something around. Sensui's still on the hunt, not going to find Super Yoshi, but hey, they get something out of it, but TNC so far still in control.
It's an XP for XP trade. Heads did walk up a little too far, but at the end of the day, TNC got the Lord. Now they can use this Lord to wipe out all the remaining towers of Blacklist International and again, choke out the farm of Oheb. But Oheb has been doing fantastic on this Claude. He is a whole 1K gold ahead over the carry, which means that he is kind of snowballing into the late game. But right now, TNC does have the chance of taking the entire outer base of Blacklist International.
Well, they have to make quick work of it, right? You can see Blacklist International bunching up that Ube strategy they love to have. But at the same time, TNC, we've seen them, when they do have a lead, whatever lineup it is, sometimes it slips out of their hands. They can't let that happen here.
They got to clean up the end game.
They have to deal with it.
They really have to limit the resources as well of Blacklist International, knowing that Oheb has the farm already.
There you go.
So we can see Super Yoshi just around the bush. So if there's a specific player that will go there, that's a threat for Blacklist.
Yeah. Bottom lane's finished. All TNC needs to do right now is get this prio in mid, maybe put 4 heroes there to get this first tower in the middle lane. But that also means that Blacklist International cannot position for this Lord. Because considering the bottom lane, they don't have towers that are near. They cannot respond if TNC decides to camp that part of the map in preparation for the Lord.
Well, you can already see this, right? The setup potential from TNC. They want to focus down this mid lane if they can, but at this point, it might be better if they don't force it, right? They don't have to force it, because that's the whole thing I was talking about earlier, right? You don't want to see TNC fumble this.
Yeah.
They have this lead, 3K ahead. They need actually Nomad to catch up a little bit more. That's why he's continuing to farm up, because you pointed out earlier, Midnight, he's down about 1,000 gold.
That's huge.
I mean, look at the Lord advantage. It was only 450 gold that they benefited from that, right? Yes, they did a ton to the turrets, But still, Blacklist International finding some way to hold on to this part, because as we are 40 seconds away from that Lord, that tier 1 will actually help them a little bit in the mid lane, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with the space that they have to work with.
Well, honestly, I think they could have pushed middle lane, but the carry decided to farm some greens. That might bite them in the end for TNT, because again, Blacklist is making a lot of use of this tower in the mid lane. They just protect it and let OHEB split push the side lanes to get some farm, and again, to put some pressure so that a hero from TNT reacts to that.
And you know what? Since Blacklist International is able to extend this game, it means that we will come to that ceiling point wherein a gold won't even matter.
Oh, yeah.
For TNC, so they really have to secure this Lord. And when we say Lord, again, there is the Sensui instinct.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a threat for TNC.
They're going to go right for it, actually.
Yeah. The expert got poked and the carry showed himself on top lane. Oh no, TNC!
They want to go for it right away.
TNC, no.
They know it's going to take some time here. TNC, though, they want to contest this as well. Ryzen, look at the damage he takes already from OHEB.
Okay, look at the heads as well. So Edward is in front of the majority of the players of TNC. Forced to back away since
Sensui?
there we have the Eternal Guard. Keepo is low on life, but the Lord is still half on life. Is this going to be a reset for both
Yeah,
teams?
they have to reset it.
Okay, this is the Filipino Lord dies.
TNT, they made a huge mistake of showing the Ruby and the carry top lane. Blacklist immediately went for the punish. Fortunately, the damage wasn't near enough for Blacklist to burst that Lord, so they have to reset it. 50-50 this time.
Okay, Ryzen is here since we as well finding the information
Yoshi!
against TNC. Yoshi with that I'm offended play. Here comes the last Insanity, not enough damage, and missed the gush by Yue.
Oh
Super
my
Yoshi is down, but
goodness!
Ryzen still will secure this Lord.
Good job for TNC to secure the objective, but they got to hold on to some turrets. It looks like Blacklist might want to make a play further here if they can, but again, they're respecting the lead that TNC has right now.
It was a good play from TNT. Yoshi caught off the CC, and they were able to try and burst him down to Blacklist International. Were forced to fight, but OHEB committed for the Blazing Duet on the backside. He was trying to take off the Vexana, but the early winter Truncheon purchase allowed TNC to kind of negate the Claude's existence in the team fight. And again, they had to 50-50 it against Ryzen, but you know, a Fredrin has a better chance of getting the Retribution Steal because of that first skill, Retribution combo.
Hey man, Ryzen right now has got his own Ultra Instinct going for it, right? That's twice now they've gotten the Lord at least secured here. Now, that's a major pickup again for OHEB, right? Malefic Roar being locked in here. You already saw a glimpse of the damage he can pump out. So TNC, despite the lead they have, hold it together. It's going to be a once again up to Super Yoshi here. How he utilizes that ultimate and the flicker combination. They need to get these turrets down in the mid lane, though, as they work with this Lord going down bot.
They're getting 2 towers here, I think.
Yep.
They have to deal with the Lord on the bottom lane for Blacklist International. Divine Glaive already up for Hatred. So much magic damage from TNT, and that's safe damage too, because he just throws the EG boy. Oh, Yoshi!
Look at that set from Super Yoshi, but has been stopped by OHEB. We have the Eternal Guard. Edward at the back, dealing damage against Ryzen. Ryzen has been... Nope, Ryzen is still alive for this game. So TNC, they have the discipline. They need to back away, but the Blacklist International, nice defense against for them.
Yeah, little overstepping from Super Yoshi with the Ruby. He was trying to look for a real flicker play, but Blacklist International, they were prepared. And again, that's the advantage of having a Gord. He can just poke safely from a distance.
It's kind of crazy, right? Because when you look at TNC and how they're approaching this base, you're thinking, all right, they're surely going to get at least a base turret down here. But again, the lineup that Blacklist International has and the way they're holding it together speaks volumes for the sustainability that this lineup has and the damage potential, right? We talk about true damage a lot. There is on both these lineups, but it's a little bit harder for Nomad. He has a shorter range, and he's got to get in the right positioning to pull it off. That's why I keep saying for TNC, it's so reliant on Super Yoshi. Now, it might be a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, but he's got heads doing the scouting for him, right? Play into that. And that's why they're going for, again, 20 seconds away from that next Lord here. TNC still holding on to a small lead. That's great, but you can see it back and forth when they actually get ready to fight here. This is where we get to that point in the game where, okay, it comes down to conceals, the positioning of these roamers. How are they going to pull this off? And once again, getting through those purifies on top of it. There's 2 across the board for Blacklist International. Now up, OHEB just got his online. So for TNC, how do they approach this fight?
Sensui?
Oh, is this going to be a play for TNC? A lot of damage already for Nomad for this one, but a lot of pokes as well to answer that one from Blacklist International.
It's interesting because you see both teams have priority on the opposite side of the Lord. Usually you'd see teams, setting up for the Lord play here, but they know that Edward is going to go for that slow push on the opposite side. That's why you saw TNC also eyeing a pickoff on Edward, but Blacklist International, they knew. They knew that they had to protect Edward at all costs, so that both teams were just standing on the bottom lane.
Look at the mid lane positioning right now, right? Super Yoshi alongside Nomad trying to get their own position here. They're going for a surprise if they
can. They checked. Oh my goodness.
That's the vision, right? That's the vision that Gord provides. You don't have to get too near to those bushes. You can just lay down the zones and deal with it.
Dude, this is such a high-level play. They count heroes. Blacklist International, they saw 3 on the Lord for TNC, and they already knew that there were heroes camping on the bottom side.
I think they will force this one. We have the Gush already,
and
the Ryzen is already low alive. Is it going to be a kill? Ryzen again with the steal. This time around with a killing spree, and we could see Edward at the back. Hatred uses that flicker, and TNC forced to back away. Headset down. Even Ryzen is down. Super Yoshi with again, and Nomad is down as well. Super Yoshi without that immortality with the winter.
If they take Yoshi down, that's it.
Hatred is down as well.
That's it.
And it's gonna be a wipeout here for Blacklist International.
Oh my goodness! It doesn't matter for the Ultra Instinct from Ryzen to get the Lord. Blacklist International wins the fight.
Oh my goodness!
No one will defend the base against Blacklist International. He will use the Blazing Do It. What a way to end the game as Blacklist International takes game number 1.
Man, oh man! What a turnaround from Blacklist International in game 1.
You saw how committed Blacklist was for going with the fundamental plays. They turned on the Lord. Screw the Lord. Whoever gets it, we don't care. We're winning the team fight. TNC, you go take it. We wipe you out. Even if we don't wipe you out, we're just going to reset the game. Because the thing is, TNC's not going to be able to utilize that Lord anyway. Ryzen died. Yoshi died. Everyone died. That was it. They got the wipeout.